Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios once again with another Dungeons & Dragons video. In this video, we're going to be talking about advantage and disadvantage in Dungeons & Dragons, and how sometimes it doesn't really make the most sense. Mechanically wise, it's there to give your players a second chance to succeed or fail, depending on which direction the situation is going, but there are times where it really doesn't make a lot of sense. I propose in this video a few optional ways to handle advantage and disadvantage, depending on what the situation is going on. For example, if the entire party is working together on a project, shouldn't they all be allowed to give some kind of advantage to the main role? See, if you're running a party of 6, like I have in one of my campaigns, and all 6 members are helping the bard in the party create a distraction by putting on a big, performance or something, shouldn't they all be allowed to feel like they contributed to that? The problem with that is you only need one member of the party to actually help and give the bard advantage. My first example is Additive Bonus. So how this works is if the people helping the character are not actually proficient in that ability, they give a +2 to his roll. Now keep in mind, he is not rolling with advantage, he is rolling with additive bonus. The advantage die does not come into play here, so he's only rolling 1d20. But if he has 5 party members helping him, plus being a bard, he's probably already proficient in performance, this adds a +10 in addition to whatever his proficiency bonus is. If the members of the party are proficient in it, so let's say maybe 2 members of that party, this goes up to a +3 per party member. This goes from a 10 to a 12 because 2 of the 5 members helping are proficient. And in the unlikely event that the rogue took expertise in performance, this is going to add a +4. So let's say the rogue is one of those 2 who are proficient but also took expertise. This increases the bonus to a +13, in addition to everything the bard is already capable of. What this surmounts to is roughly the same as rolling twice, increasing the bard's odds of getting that sweet nat 20, but now the entire party feels like they contributed to the thing that they all said they contributed to. The next one is sort of the most simplistic of these ideas. Just get rid of the 2 dice rule. If 5 people are helping, let him roll 6 d20s total and have, that big of an advantage. However, make sure to do this in the opposite direction as well. For example, if they're trying to ride a horse in the middle of a storm while orcs are chasing them down and a tree falls in front of him, that's 3 disadvantages on his animal handling check. Granted, you could also do pluses and minuses. For example, if the horse is loyal to him already, that 3 disadvantage maybe gains an advantage, thus resulting in a +2 to his d20s, so now there's only 3 dice for a disadvantage roll. But taking away this and giving them that, I don't know, it would result in a lot more advantage dice than disadvantage, so of my ideas, this is the one I would use the most sparingly. Another really easy way to handle advantage and disadvantage would just be to simply give or take 10 from their dice roll. If they have disadvantage, they lose 10 to the dice roll. If they have advantage, they gain 10. Simple as that. No second dice, just an extra bonus or loss of bonus. If you and your players really like the additive bonus rule, you may also like the idea of group skill checks. I got this idea from Storm King's Thunder, where there's this part where there's a giant slab of stone that needs to be moved, but it can only be moved if 4 or more players in the party succeed on a strength check of 20 or higher. So what I did was I took the chart from the Dungeon Master's Guide, upscaled it to fit a party of 4 or a party of 6, depending on what you got going on at your table, and made these the new skill checks that need to be passed. For example, what I have here is if it's a hard task for 4 player characters to do together, they have to roll accumulatively 100 out of their d20s. Now granted, if all 4 of them roll nat 20s plus their bonuses, they still might not be able to do it, but it's a hard task for a group of 4 people. But on the alternative, if you have a party of 6 and the DC is something easy to do, like lift up a big stone slab, then the 6 of them rolling together roll higher than a 25, they can lift with their legs and throw it away. Not really a big deal. You can adjust these numbers as you see fit because this is still an experimental idea of mine, but a group DC can make a really big number, allowing your players to feel really satisfied with how all their numbers came together to make something that obviously could not be done, even by a rogue with expertise. The final idea actually came from my brother, and I really like this one. For advantage and disadvantage, you'll need to look to a different type of die. If the player has a disadvantage on it and they still have an astronomically high bonus, maybe the disadvantage of, rolling a second 1 might not even faze them. However, if they can only roll a 10, like this D10, then suddenly it doesn't seem like such a easy task to do, even with disadvantage. On the alternative, maybe if they have advantage and the task still seems too lofty, like a wizard trying to do something with their strength, let their advantage become a D30. Now, I know not everyone has a D30. You're going to have to check your local store, your local game shop to see if there's one available, but a D30 gives them an increased chance of doing something that maybe not even the barbarian in the party could pull off. So with a DC of, 25, they might not even need their bonuses to roll a high enough number. Of course, 5th edition is balanced the way it is for a reason. It's very easy for players to get into. You can tell a new player advantage means 2 dice, take the higher number. Disadvantage means 2 dice, take the lower number. It's really easy to say, it's a quick hand, you just tell the player roll with advantage or roll with disadvantage. But if you've been playing for a while and you guys are comfortable with the rules, this is a good way to change it up, shake things up a little, maybe allow you, the DM, to create more complex puzzles that require a lot more unity and teamwork among your players. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.